It's 3:55, Daylight Savings Time, New South Wales, Australia. I'm Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist, and I wanted to speak about Acts chapter 15. Scholars say it's one of the most misunderstood chapters in the Bible, but it's not all that hard to understand. If you understand the doctrine of grace, that we're saved by grace and not by works, you'll see that the apostles in Acts chapter 15 gave in to the legalists, and under the pressure of the legalists, they decided to send out a list of things they thought were necessary to contribute to their Christian salvation and cause. And what we don't understand, well, what we need to understand is, but don't want to, is the fact that what they sent out was not good. It had nothing to do with the gospel of grace. Now, this is the result of the panic that was going on in the church at that time. And I'm going to say panic because they should have just said, as Paul did in Ephesians, and what I don't understand is why Paul never raised up, never said, no, we can't accept this. Just bear with me. Ephesians 2:8 says, what's going on here? What's this? No, we can't use that. Ephesians 2:8. Ephesians 2:8. Here we go. Bible Gateway. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. Now, what that causes us to do then is see, you have to build the foundation upon that, for no other foundation can be laid than that which is laid, which is Christ Jesus. And then you have to build the structure of your theology around the base of knowing who Christ is and what he has done and how grace works for us instead of us working for it. And it's not easy. When the elders or the leaders of the church back in Jerusalem were confronted with this terrible problem that they had over the legalists, they should have just said what Paul said, for by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. But in writing what they've written, and this is coming out of, I just watched a live presentation by the XJW International lady, who does a pretty good presentation when she's on song, if she doesn't mind me saying. She covered a lot of ground, and one of the things that she was focusing on at the end was the blood doctrine of the Jehovah Witnesses, the murderous blood doctrine of the Jehovah Witnesses, which they scrounged up from Acts chapter 15. Now, what a lot of lay and scholarly Bible students don't realise is the panic to please the legalists in Acts chapter 15 brought out these rules, as it were, just to keep the people at bay. Now, to God from eternity are all his works. Verse 18 of chapter 15. Therefore I judge that we should not trouble those from among the Gentiles who are turning to God. And where he says not trouble those, he means we've got no right to give them any rules other than the grace and the message of the good news of Christ and the finished work of Christ. Now he says that in the one breath, right? We shall not trouble those from among the Gentiles who are turning to God. But, and this is where it all went skew-if, but that we write to them to abstain. Now, this is Mosaic law, to abstain from things polluted by idols, from sexual immorality, from things strangled, and from blood. Now, that is a list of panic solutions to the pressure of the legalists that were haunting the birthing and the progress of the message of Christ. James, of all people, should have known that this sort of list was unnecessary. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. Legalists don't like that kind of language. So then he goes on, he says, For Moses has had throughout many generations those who preach him in every city, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath. Now Moses and the law have nothing to do with the message of Jesus Christ. But it pleased the apostles and elders, who must have been weak cowards with the whole church, to send chosen men of their own company to Antioch with Paul and Barnabas, namely Judas, who was also named Barsabas. I don't know why Paul accepted this letter. Because if you read the book of Galatians, let's just go to chapter 3. The whole argument of Galatians is about these kind of issues. And James has buckled and given this list and sent it out, and the silly Jehovah Witnesses have taken it, without interpreting the Bible correctly, as the gospel. And it's not the gospel. Paul says in Galatians chapter 3, O foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? Now, as far as I understand, over 50,000 Jehovah Witnesses have died because of the blood doctrine. And it's not even a biblical, it's not founded on the Bible. That is not the good news of the gospel. I'm going to say it again. That list has nothing to do with Christianity or the gospel. It was put in there by a panicking leadership to try and dull out the legalists that had so much pressure on them that wasn't funny. This is Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist, New South Wales, Australia. Bye for now. Yeah, Dr. Jason Morrison, theologist again. I just want to say thank you for watching the videos, and I hope you got plenty of self-rediscovery and freedom out of it. If you watched it on YouTube, please share or like, maybe even comment. If you watch it on Facebook, like, comment, share. But most of all, get out and live. This isn't a rehearsal. You've got a one-off life. Don't let your loyalty and your faithfulness blind you to the life that you should be experiencing. Till the next video, thank you for watching, and bye for now.